was one of them. They don't care about kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. Mad.
Mad? Insufferable? Surely for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
You, Jill, is that right? I've a few questions for you. You are Jill, aren't you?
I ain't saying nothing.
Bloody dwarves, I'll come back to you. And you better be ready to talk here.
Come on, please no, sir. I forgot how to sing. I did.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right?
That's enough now.
I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
Sing us a song. I know you can. A no doesn't become a yes over time, you know.
Ask what you must. I've nothing to hide.
Seems to me you should be a little more afraid. There's a killer about, after all.
Till overboiling a bit of cabbage becomes a crime, I shall hold my head steady.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You...
Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Psst. Kid, you been down by the room up the hall?
No.
You sure about that?
No.
What's your name?
No.
Gods, didn't your mother teach you any manners?
She got eaten by a void woken.
Forget it.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Please, please, please.
I forgot how to sing. I did.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Why won't you sing?
Be good, you scallywags.
Ask what you must. I've nothing to hide.
Seems to me you should be a little more afraid. There's a killer about, after all.
Till overboiling a bit of cabbage becomes a crime, I shall hold my head steady.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
You, Jill, is that right? I have a few questions for you.
That right? I always knew
You are Jill, aren't you?
Ben Nest.
I ain't saying nothing.
Your kind
Bloody
always
dwarf.
hung closest
I'll come
our
back to you,
divine
and you better be ready to
wolves
talk
around a
here.
campfire.
You've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of the ship with him. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of the ship with him.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Please, please, please.
Be good, you scallywags.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
How dare you classify this slop as food?
I forgot
I've
how
seen
to
more
sing.
appetizing
I did.
things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Mad? Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
Please, please, please.
A no doesn't become a yes over time, you know.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You see my name, Jefferson? Yes, over
What
time.
on earth is the matter? Murder most foul.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
Absolutely right.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He reaches out and takes your hand.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in... No. I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This tech... Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us will kill our own.
Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now, please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Ah, there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You'd presume right.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us will kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though. Nope. Trying not to find anything out, either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
You look like my daddy. His name is Frida. He's waiting for me at home.
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la. You're a human, like me. That means we're friends already. My mum told me not to make friends with lizards and elves and dwarves and stuff. But I think they're okay.
Why won't you sing?
That's enough.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I'm trying to concentrate.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us would kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
She shakes her head.
To the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
Game for one, I'm afraid.
Mad? Insufferable, surely.
Rolling dice?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to
Deciding fates.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
Everyone lays sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. A very special someone.
I'm trying to concentrate.
You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together.
That knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad?
Of course it is. The truth's right there. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
Quiet long enough for me to listen.
Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
You! Sorcerer! Blood! No! Go!
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll move right over the side of this ship with him.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague.
Woof! Woof woof!
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was...
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, sir, but we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and and I don't intend to do away.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
By all means, do as the officer says. But you had better hurry, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precise.
What's happening?
No time for chatter. We've got to get out of here.
The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls. The hairs on its back prickling. It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Please, make it stop. Oh.
The dog whines and continues pawing.
Get off this wreck and quick! Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and...
You pass through the door, and the skeleton is quick.
No. What? It catches fire? It turns into...
The skeleton looks up and notices you for...
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such? Remember, one of your race's weaknesses is having your lungs filled with water until you can no longer breathe.
The skeleton resumes his...
Please, my...
still a chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
If you could walk, get yourself to the ladder. There's a hook. Wait! Void Woken!
Won't sink the ship on my watch.
Let the games begin. We make a pretty good team.
It's Magister Siwan, the one who put on this town. She needs help.
Wait! We need to wait!
God, that thing! There's no time.
Did you see them? The Void Woken. They made short, bloody work of our ship.
No telling if there are more ashore, and I doubt that voice will save any of us again. I thought the Order would get rid of any trace of the old Source King. Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they've made it to shore.
stare at the slain beasts and comment that they must have been the cause of the shipwreck.
They're just animals, easy enough to euthanize.
I don't relish having killed these creatures, but it couldn't be helped.
You spot a strange lizard. Yes, you recognize him from the ship. You spot a strange... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer. Or...
Yes, I imagine you do. You're made of sterner stuff than I first gave you credit for. Chances are I wouldn't have survived. You have my
hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
My gratitude is worth a great deal, if only you'd realize it. But of course you don't. Now then, if there's nothing further...
He watches you depart without a word, then turns back.
Yes, I thought there was nothing further. I'm sure I don't mean to sound...
He sighs.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories?
He looks out over the water...
As for I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Yes, but these weren't castles in the sky, were they? Quite obvious.
Suddenly,
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Well, more's the damn pity, isn't it? For I am the Red Prince. Of course.
There's a brief moment's pause.
That said, the grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was then by all means.
He watches you depart without another word.
Yes, I'm still here, contemplating my throne. Then by all means...
He watches you...
A black cat. Some would see this as an omen.
The cat's eyes are clouded and...
What? How did I get... Hey, stop following me. Well, at least I think I do. Sometimes it feels like... No, I know who I am. Who are you? You'll be popular. Plenty of grim...
The cat shakes its head, as if trying to wake up from a deep sleep.
Huh? Yeah, fine.
The cat opens his mouth as if to speak, but his eyes lose focus, and with a jerk he turns away from you.
Now, where should I put this one? Hey, mister. I'm sure glad you went back to...
I wonder where this leads.
As the alcove opens up, you see the same skeleton that you met on the boat before it sank. He's leaning over a corpse, prodding and pulling at the skin of its face.
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh. Perhaps...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at the man's cheeks, the skeleton relents, letting the head drop to the ground with a damp thud.
Damnation. That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor? Ah! No! Stay back! Don't... Oh, it's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected. Oh, yes. An exceptionally common, but exceptionally valuable commodity. A face. A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to his skull. I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously rip the face from the body. I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I have important things to do on Reaper's Coast. I cannot simply sit about waiting for the rest of you to die so I may continue my business in peace. No. I may be an eternal, but my patience has its limits. Indeed. I may be the only eternal. My people seem rather absent. At least from this realm. As for the others, well, there is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers. Yes, do feel free to call. By which I mean shout loudly. I do not want you sneaking up on me again.
You hear a small whimpering sound from behind a basket. You peer behind it and find a small human child holding her knees and trembling. The child quiets and seems comforted by your presence. She looks up at you with curious eyes. She nods.
Why?
A wide smile cracks across her tear-streaked face, exposing a big gap where her two front teeth should be.
Because witches do spells. You're funny. You can have this. I found it outside, but I can't read it yet. That's next year, and then I'll learn it.
The child wipes her eyes and, grinning, plunks herself down on the earthen ground. She starts tracing shapes, hearts, stars, and diamonds into the dirt.
Go! Get out! You are not welcome here! Go, man-pig!
She eyes you suspiciously.
Please.
What's this? I found something. I don't have the right tool for digging.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey.
I know nothing of any...
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, you!
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his own... The fate of our... Dallas?
Yes, you're... will be needed elsewhere.
The lizard magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
There's one magister fewer for us to worry about.
When it comes to dying...
The cat's eyes are clouded.
Come on then, Lexi. Hurry up.
So this is Fort Joy.
Those bleeding dwarves did me so much.
What a crumbling disaster.
Have you cud?
Disgusting.
Hey, I know you.
Losa, the dark-eyed jokester you met aboard the ship, waves enthusiastically and dips into a mock elegant curtsy.
Back then I was Madame Josephine Gribbles de Pube. And you were... you. Glad to see you made it. Nothing like a nice tentacle slap across the moor to set the tone for the week, eh? How'd you escape? Me too. Did you hear something? When you were in the water, I mean.
You keep his name out of your mouth. Disgusting. Just like all your kind.
I heard the same thing. Do you know what this means?
Losa's voice catches in her throat. The joy drains from her face. Her eyes lose focus, and her whole body goes rigid. She is stock-still, waxy-skinned, her eyes dark. Greyish-black veins run from her eyes down her cheeks. Her head snaps to you mechanically, and her eyes lock with yours, dark pupils dilated into great black voids. Light suddenly flashes back into her face. The grey veins drain to pinkish flesh, and her whole body relaxes.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Ah, it's nothing really. It's just... I'm just a bit... well, a bit... hospitable? Put it like this. You've never been a host, I bet. That's because you're an infested clump of leaves on the side of the road. That ain't bad, though. I'd give just about anything to be like you. But I'm a roadside inn. Red door, flowers out front, friendly lady at the door beckoning you in for half price. Like a goddamn gold star inn for the disembodied. Feels like just one, strangely enough. Big one, though. Don't know its name yet, either. It takes time for them to get comfortable and introduce themselves. So, how are you enjoying the joy? Yeah? I was just thinking the same sort of thing. So, you want to check this place out together? Strength in numbers and all that. Who said anything about otherworldly? Demons and brain ghosts are just as mundane as you or I. Mostly you. So, want to go together? It does, right? Before we head out, I've got more than a few tricks up my sleeve, so you'll have to pick which one I'll pull out if... when push comes to shove. Lately I've been into the enchanting arts, but I can shoot, slash, summon, steal, whatever your little black heart desires. So, what'll it be? Sounds fine. So, we're good to go? Yeah? Well, that was easier than I thought. And I'll do my best to stay myself. Lead the way.
Have your cud.
Disgusting. Just like all your kind.
Disgusting like theft. Disgusting like threats.
Grave God, will you quit dragging this on? Ain't that hard, Lexi. Just hand over the gold.
I will not.
Come on then, Lexi. Hey up.
I find only bread. I want no trouble.
Bread or a brisket, toll's the same.
Your grift teaches you to bully others. Pathetic. This is not your business, long pig.
Don't let this moss muncher talk to you like that. Especially a cheapskate like this one. Griff.
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you.
The intense-looking man stands beside you against the thugs, shooting you an appraising glance. Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your combined threat.
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. You ain't worth the sweat of my brow anyhow.
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
The man rolls his sleeves back down.
Good work there. Good.
He stretches out one rough hand to shake you. He grips your hand tight as a vice and...
Good to meet you, lady. Say, you don't look all that busy. I could use someone to watch my back. I've just got a small errand to run. And then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here, while I've still got a neck to... Everyone needs to make a living. I make mine running errands.
He shoots you a flinty look, all teeth and peril.
Lone wolves only share such information with friends. Are we going to be friends?
He grins, sharp teeth glittering in the midday sun.
So, before we hit the road, it's best if we decide survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need? Too much, you might say. I can make them bleed any which way you want. Which is? Sure. Think it up. What good's an outlaw who can't command the shadows? I've dabbled enough to know I've an affinity for the darker arts. But I'm a quick learner. What's your preference? Can do. On.
He scans the horizon for threat.
Right you are.
thinking messing with Griff's brutes anyhow? Spirit to fight the Reaper.
Oh, Emmy.
Rest now. You'll hie yourself to the grave.
Oh, Emmy.
Save your spirit to fight the Reaper.
Oh, Emmy.
Rest now. You'll hie yourself to the grave. Rest now. You'll hie yourself to the grave.
Oh, Emmy.
Rest now. You'll hie yourself to the grave.
Oh, Emmy.
Rest now. You'll hie yourself to the grave. What were you thinking, messing with Griff's brutes anyhow? What were you thinking, messing with Griff's brutes anyhow?
Ah, a little reprieve from the din outside.
I'll stab you right in the eye! Shua! 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 Got you!
Thank you for your help with that, thug. Rare is the human who goes against their own for an elf.
She bows.
I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through. Through the Magisters, through their cure. Thugs I can stand, but I fear the Magisters. In this cave, we trust the healer. She is young, but she sees. She knows more than we know. In the camp, the brute Griff rules. He who gives the bread has the power. It gives me great pain. I'm with my family. We are making beautiful magic. We are healing a tree cut down with great violence. The Magisters come. My family runs, but I fall. My son looks back. I shout to him to run. I am taken. Wait, before you go. I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you, a prize. I save it for a special occasion, but I can think of no finer occasion than this. Thank you.
You can't get me!
I feel him, but I do not see him.
I'll stab you right in the eye! I magicked you, you're dead! I'll stab you right in the eye! You can't get me! Got you! I got you! You're cheating! I'll stab you right in the eye! Shua! 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 Got you! Got you! I got you! Shua! 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 Got you! I know they help. I'll stab you right in the eye! I magicked you, you're dead!
As you approach the young elf, Losa suddenly grabs your arm. Her hand is damp. Her face looks pale and grey.
Hey, listen, I don't know why, but I think I need to talk to this elf. You mind?
She darts over to the elf without responding. They begin talking in earnest, more quietly than you can overhear. Losa suddenly snatches up both the elf's hands and leans close to her. Her voice rises.
You have to tell me.
The whites of Losa's eyes fade to grey.
It rises in you even now, Losa. Do not let it. You must be strong. Fight. You are okay. You are yours. No one else's.
Shut up. Let go. Let go. Let go. I don't want to hurt her. Don't make me.
Losa is rigid as a board, tense with the effort of holding Sahela's hands in tight, painful bunches.
Leave me alone! Leave me! I don't want to!
You are hurting me.
Losa's eyes are black. Sahela's fingers are white under her grasp.
Let me go! Please!
A sinister smile spreads across Losa's lips. She jerks the elf toward her.
Chatty, chatty elf. Chatty elf with all the answers. I wonder what your blood tastes like.
Losa, please. You must not defend her. She wakes if she is weakened. We must hurt her to protect her, you see?
I bet the elf blood tastes like honey, Let's find out.
You must weaken her to help her.
You okay?
Yeah, thanks. What? Don't look at me like that.
I feel him, but I do not see him.
I didn't do anything. It was that thing, whatever it is. It's just a visitor. It has nothing to do with me. Come off it. You don't give a damn what happens to me. You're just worried that that thing will get you into trouble. It won't, okay? You can quote me on that. Let's keep moving. I want to get out of this bloody place as soon as possible. Yes, it is.
I feel him, but I do not see him.
The young girl's eyes are covered, but she turns towards you when you approach. She smiles as though she recognizes you, though she couldn't have seen your face.
Ah, hello. I see you come a long way. I see you come here seeking a great adventure. Do you find it? Perhaps you keep going. Perhaps you make friends with what you see. There is a great passion in every grain of sand. Maybe you find your adventure after all. Yes, please ask. It is safer here. We make no trouble for Griff. He makes no trouble for us. Oh, I do not cover my eyes. I cover the place they used to be. They are gone now, taken, but I see all the same. He is a very blind man. He sees things but not truth, not love or joy. I feel very sorry for him. You understand when you meet him after you escape. My home is far. Your language gives me some trouble. We elves... Time, for us, is now. There is not then and when.
Her eyebrows shoot up.
There can be a way. Amiro knows. But he is gone. Do you see him? He knows how to leave. My protector, my friend, an elf like me, with a spirit bright as new leaves. He tries to help me, to save me, and he suffers very much. He is caught by those who hurt him. I wish so much for his return. And he tells you what you seek. A way out. I know I can trust you. I see it before my eyes. I see something that helps. I see a lizard. He is a lizard of many dreams, of far feeling. You do not free Amiro without him.
you